Hi, welcome back to the channel, beautiful beloved souls. My name is Gemstone. I'm a psychic medium and I am an author. Now, as a psychic medium, as well as channeling, I can do remote viewing. I much prefer channeling. The difference is remote viewing, you just get like pieces of a puzzle. Channeling is like a complete puzzle. Okay, now this isn't for everyone, and I am not pushing this on everyone, but at the end of the video, if you are interested in wanting to learn either how to channel or how to remote view, I will show you that information. Now, you may be wondering, why have I got speakers on? My Realtek speakers is corrupted. I've tried downloading Windows 11 again. There's a corruption going on. So I was watching one of my videos yesterday, and halfway through, it went from crackling to silence. I've tried everything. I've tried restoring my laptop. I've tried getting the Realtek driver again, downloading. I've been there. So if you know how to get the speakers, the Realtek speakers back, could you leave a comment? And if you want to know what kind of laptop I have, it's a HP Pavilion, if you understand. All right, for those of you who are new, on this channel, you'll find mainly commentary. I don't fit a particular niche. I look at everything to do with life and death through a lens. And as I said, I'm an author of over 40 books. Okay, let's get into it. The fine line between spiritual awakening and delusion. There is a conversation that almost nobody wants to have, honestly, anymore. Not in spiritual circles, not in mental health communities, and definitely not online, where algorithms reward extremes like a carnival barker throwing glowing candy into a crowd. That conversation is this: where is the line between spiritual awakening and delusion? Because there is a line. And I think many people are afraid to acknowledge it because they fear sounding judgmental, skeptical, or closed-minded. But discernment matters, especially now. Over the last few years, I've noticed a huge rise in people believing they are uniquely chosen, alien-seeded, star seeds from higher dimensions, reincarnated gods, divine messages, or channelers of cosmic masters who supposedly hold secret truths for humanity. Now, before anyone gets defensive, I'm not here to mock spiritual experiences. I've had experiences myself that I cannot explain through ordinary logic. I've had intuitive moments, dreams, impressions, and what I describe as tuning into frequencies. But I also believe something very dangerous is happening online. People are beginning to confuse importance with spirituality, and those are not the same thing. Real spiritual growth often humbles you. Delusion usually inflates you. Real awakening tends to create compassion, grounding, balance, curiosity, and responsibility. Delusion often creates grandiosity, certainty, superiority, paranoia, and isolation. And the scary thing is, from the inside, they can sometimes feel similar. That's why discernment is so important. I want to share something personal because I think honesty matters in these conversations. When I channel, the best way I can describe is like tuning into a radio frequency. It does not feel like a booming God voice crashing through the ceiling with lightning bolts and cosmic sound effects. It feels subtle, neutral, almost observational. It's more like listening than being possessed, more like impressions, concepts, emotional understandings, or a calm inner frequency. And one thing that is very important to me is this. The voice has never told me to hurt myself. It has never told me to hurt others. It has never claimed I am the chosen savior of humanity. It has never demanded worship, obedience, or isolation. I use discernment constantly because regardless of where the experiences come from, we still have responsibility for our own minds. When I questioned this presence or frequency years ago, asking what it actually was, the answers I received were things like higher dimensions, higher self, all that is, real reality. Now, could those experiences be symbolic, psychological, spiritual, some blend of intuition and subconscious processing? Possibly. I remain open, but I also remain careful. And that balance is what I think many people are losing. There is a very real difference between I had an unusual experience and I am a divine cosmic ruler sent to awaken humanity because aliens implanted me with sacred DNA. The internet has created an environment where every thought can be reinforced instantly. Years ago, if someone believed they were the reincarnation of an ancient galactic emperor, people around them may have encouraged grounding, therapy, balance, or skepticism. Now, they can find entire online communities validating every escalating belief within minutes. And this is where things become complicated because I absolutely believe trauma can alter perception. Trauma changes the nervous system. It changes hypervigilance. It changes intuition. It changes sensitivity. Some people who grow up in unstable environments like I did become extremely perceptive. They learn to read tone shifts, facial expressions, energy in rooms, danger signals, emotional currents. Sometimes people call that psychic ability. Sometimes psychology calls it trauma adaptation. Sometimes I suspect it may even be both. When I was younger, my own mother accused me of being mentally unwell because of the experiences I described. And because I wanted to be responsible, I actually spoke openly during a mental health assessment about hearing what I described as a radio-like neutral voice or frequency. And the professionals did not consider me psychotic or detached from reality. Instead, They believed many of my struggles stemmed from childhood trauma. That distinction mattered because there is also a huge difference between having unusual inner experiences and losing the ability to function, reason, question yourself, or distinguish consensual reality from internal perception. Healthy spirituality should allow room for questioning. Delusion usually resists questioning. That's one of the warning signs. Another warning sign is when spirituality becomes ego armor. You'll notice some people online constantly escalating their identity. First empath, then psychic, then starseed, then galactic commander, then chosen prophet, then messenger of divine counsels. The identity keeps growing larger and larger because psychologically, importance can become addictive, especially when someone feels powerless, unseen, traumatized, lonely, or disconnected in ordinary life. And social media rewards this. The more dramatic the claim, the more attention arrives. Algorithms don't care whether someone is psychologically healthy. They care whether people stop scrolling. So the internet becomes this strange digital hall of mirrors where vulnerable people can disappear into belief systems that constantly reinforce themselves. And I think this is why grounding is essential. For me, personally, grounding means staying functional, questioning myself, remaining open to psychological explanations, remaining open to spiritual explanations, and not assuming every unusual feeling is cosmic destiny. I think spirituality becomes dangerous when it removes accountability. If a voice tells someone to isolate themselves, harm themselves, stop taking medication suddenly, abandon reality completely, or believe they are superior to all others, that is not something to romanticize. That requires real support and discernment. And I worry sometimes that online spiritual culture accidentally glorifies instability. There's almost this trend where the more disconnected someone appears from reality, the more awakened they are assumed to be. But historically, many genuine spiritual teachers emphasize balance, compassion, humility, discipline, and grounded living. Not ego inflation, not constant self-mytholizing, not turning yourself into the main character of the universe. And I know this topic can upset people because spiritual experiences are deeply personal. But I think we need more nuanced conversations, not cynical dismissal of every unusual experience, and not blind validation of every extraordinary claim either. There is middle space, a thoughtful space, a space where someone can say, I've had an experience I can't fully explain, without immediately concluding they are a multi-dimensional cosmic monarch sent to save Earth during the reptilian frequency wars. Human consciousness is mysterious. The mind is mysterious. Trauma is mysterious. Dreams are mysterious. Intuition is mysterious. But mystery itself should not automatically erase critical thinking. In fact, I would argue true discernment requires holding both openness and skepticism at the same time, like holding two lanterns in a dark forest instead of choosing only one. Because certainty can become dangerous on both sides. Extreme skeptics may dismiss meaningful human experiences too quickly. Extreme believers may lose grounding entirely. And somewhere between these two extremes is a healthier path. One where we can explore consciousness responsibly. One where we can discuss intuition without glamorizing psychosis. One where people can seek healing instead of identity inflation. And maybe that's the real question we should ask ourselves. Does a belief make us more compassionate, grounded, balanced, and connected to reality? Or does it make us more isolated, superior, fearful, unstable, and detached? Because awakening should expand humanity, not erase it. And discernment may be one of the most spiritual tools we actually have. All right. Thank you, beautiful beloved souls, for watching. Unfortunately, my screen has frozen, so I will hold this up to you again and come back to my camera. Oh, my computer is playing up. So, if you are interested, I have received a few critics, and I get it. I've explained myself, but yes, I can remote view. At best, remote viewing with the best people is only 65% accurate. Channeling is a lot worse. All right, if you are going to drop a comment, I ask that you do so with respect, please. If only we had more respect in this world and we were kinder to each other. Remember, please be kind to each other. Smile at a stranger. You might just save someone's life. You don't know what that person is going through. Most of all, please take care of yourselves because your lives matter. You are precious. You are here for a reason. Thank you again for watching. Love, light, and blessings. Have a good one. Bye.